Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the negotiation table. My name is Wincy Hong, your host and communication specialist here at HGEA. With us today, we have Unit 3 members Denise Holy, Office Assistant at Nanakuli High and Intermediate. Aloha.
Hi.
And Hillary Pili Aloha, Office Assistant at Mokapu Elementary School. Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome to the podcast, both of you. Before we dive into this month's interview, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss an episode. All right, let's begin. Students are back in school this month, and while teachers get a lot of attention, there are many more people involved in making schools run. Principals and vice principals, educational assistants, school nurses, food service managers, speech language pathologists, school psychologists, athletic directors, and so many others contribute to the success of our students. Among the unsung heroes are office assistants who do all the behind the scenes work that keep our schools operating. So my first question is for you, Denise. How long have you been an office assistant? And can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do and why it is so important to school operations?
I'm going into my third year as an OA. I've been on the campus that I'm at now for 13 years. I work in the registrar's office. I clerk for the registrar. Our main responsibility is registering students, but we also keep folders, like cumulative folders for all of our students on campus. So a lot of the folders contain private information pertaining to students and family. So one of our main responsibilities is to make sure that that information goes out to the people that need to know in a discreet way to keep it's confidentiality wise, right? But to preserve the rights of our students and our families. The other important thing that we do is register our students, and in doing that, it takes a lot of there's a lot of paperwork involved just to make sure that we comply with what we need to collect as far as information from families to register our kids, to keep our families and mainly our students safe.
Absolutely. And Hillary, a lot of times office assistants are the first faces parents see when they walk through the door or the first voice they hear when they call the school. How long have you been doing this work? And can you share a little bit about the ways you make an impact at your school, especially when it comes to delivering vital public service like education?
Absolutely. So it's my 10th full school year at Mokapu Elementary School. And one of the things, our school is a military impacted school. So we're on a military base. And so that's the most important part, is welcoming the families and building relationships from the beginning, right? And I think having that relationship and like knowing that their kids will be safe, they're coming to a new state, not only a new school but to a new state, right? So how can we welcome them and make them feel safe and comfortable from the beginning? But having that aloha spirit and just welcoming everybody, doesn't even matter whether it's somebody from a new family or if it's somebody from maintenance, right? We have to welcome everybody the same. Just having that. So in our office, we strive for that, is to make sure that they feel they're seen, that, they walk in and we acknowledge that they're there. And then especially with parents and families coming to Hawaii, they're leaving their kids with us, right? And they don't know our culture. They don't know anything about our school is an open campus, and they come from places where their campuses are closed. And so they're not something that they're familiar with. So like knowing that they have their kids in safe hands, I think that's what most important. We deal with all kinds of people. We have a student body of almost 800 students. So having that amount of people come through our office, and because it's military, it's like a constant, it's a busy office. Every day, parents coming in and out. We register even through like the last 2 months of school at our school. So it's a fast-paced place, and just being able to handle all of the things that are coming our way. So that's for me, building the relationships with everybody, with our families, our students, our staff members, with everybody that sets foot on our campus.
Definitely a lot of transition
Yes.
for the student. And recently, the state acknowledged a challenge with recruiting for about 500 vacant office assistant positions across state government. Denise, maybe we can start with you on this. What kind of impact does staff shortages have on your work?
So on our campus, our busy times are end of school year, during the summer, and right at the beginning, because we're trying to get packets together to give out to new students and families. So because of the shortage, first of all, the funding to pay for staff depends a lot on attendance, right? So we get so much money per student. And if we don't have the student body, then it kind of cuts back on our budget. With that being said, the shortage in our office means that the responsibilities everybody carries more responsibility. You can be called. Luckily, we have some EAs that will come in and help us in the front office when it gets busy. They'll answer phones while the OAs tend to families while we get packets ready. But it gets really stressful not having enough manpower on the campus, especially like now just before school starts, so maybe a month before, up until continuing now. We're so busy and we're so short staffed, and phones are constantly ringing. Somebody needs to answer that while someone else is taking care of people walking in the front door to our front office, coming into the registrar's office, wanting to pay dues. These are all things that we as OAs take care of. And our working days are, we have 8-hour working days. Sometimes some of us stay later because while we're doing all of these other things, our paperwork, like in the registrar's office, all of this paperwork that comes in and out has to be, you put it on the side, you wait till the end of the day when you can catch up on this. That's the shortages. It gets a little stressful, to be honest.
And same question for you, Hillary. How much would having more staff help impact the ability for you to serve the public? And what's the impact of staff shortages on your workload?
So particularly just what I've experienced is we've had EAs, with people being out, and our office has served this week as EAs and has served as other roles on campus. So then it sets us back, being able to do our job in the front. But the great thing is that other people are able to step up, right, and able to help out where needed. It impacts us a lot because, like Denise mentioned, it gets stressful when people hear that we work all 12 months, right? And then they're like, oh, summer must be chill for you guys. And we're like, no, it's not. And then when we're short having to make packets, like you mentioned, like we start to lose our mind, or, those kind of things. But having more people there, so our workload is kind of spread out amongst other people, it would help. But I also feel at the same time, training them would be able to, training them to do their job better and a little bit more efficient would be good too.
A lot of people don't realize that many school professionals often work a second job. This speaks to the need for your pay to reflect the experience and professionalism you bring. Denise, you work a second job. Can you share what it's like to work a full-time job and not be able to make ends meet?
I had a mother tell me, I've never been. She's coming in from the States. She said, I've never been welcomed that way before in my life. And I said, thank you for saying that, because we don't get a whole lot of that, even because we're all so busy. We forget to appreciate the other people in the office sometimes. And it's good to hear that. But also, for me to leave there and then have to go to another job that, one, takes away from family time. And then two, just makes my day that much longer. It would be great if we got paid fairly for what we do. Because in all honesty, everybody has their part on a campus. But if not for the frontline people, which is us, the OAs and our SASAs, where would everyone else on the campus be, to be honest? We are the first people that everyone sees besides our security officers. We know the families better. We know the students. We're up close. Besides EAs, we're up close and personal with families all the time, students all the time. It would be less of a burden if we got paid fairly, and if our benefits reflected that also. Because I worked for a long time in the private sector, and going from private to work for the state, I was blown away with how much I need to pay with what comes out of my check to pay for my benefits. And I appreciate benefits, honestly, but I was blown away by how much we actually comes out of our paycheck, what we have to pay towards that.
Hillary, besides pay, which is a huge factor, what other ways could the state make these jobs more attractive, especially when you compare what private sector jobs offer?
I think one thing that we should do more of is opportunity for advancement beyond just office assistants, and it's throughout the entire, wherever it is within the government, right? And a lot of that comes with training and professional development. And one thing that they did this year was they had a SASA summit, and we were able to invite office assistants to come. And so at the SASA summit, they shared there were breakout sessions about different areas within our job with our different roles, right? Because we can do anything from registering families to processing payroll in the casual system to hiring people, right? And then we do all of that at the school level, or getting substitute teachers processed through the system, or any of these things, welcoming our substitute teachers every morning. So they had sessions, and even processing workman's comp claims. So the sessions, and I feel like this is one thing that they're working on, is building our capacity. And I think once we can expand our skill set, right, and learning, so when I learned about these different AI tools that's offered, I'm like, oh, how can I take that back and use it for our school, right? And how can we don't have to use every bit of things, but taking a piece here and a piece there and what works for our school. I think, with the training, I think that's how people begin to learn more, and then they become more efficient in their job, and then they can perhaps build or grow within to other or advancement, right, within our jobs or within our careers. So I think that's one thing. If they can see that there's a clear plan or there's opportunities for us to do that, I think that's the biggest part, I feel.
Before we go, would the two of you be able to share why you love the work you do and why you stay on the job despite the challenges? We can start with Denise and then go to Hillary.
I stay because I really do enjoy working with students and families, right? That's why I stay doing what I on campuses. I've thought about leaving to go to lateral into another position and a whole other department, but I really do like the interaction with our students and their families, because again, one of our main roles, and I feel it's more of our responsibility, is to make students and their parents feel safe and comfortable, and to reassure parents that your kids are going to be okay. You know, your kids are on our campus, they're our responsibility while they're here. It's going to be fine, you know. And if it's not, these are the measures we're going to take to make sure, you know, to make sure that it will work out for. But this is why I stay, because the kids and their parents, they keep you young. I know, honestly, they having constant interaction with students, it does keeps you young.
Honestly, it's the people that keep me there. The relationships that I've built, I think that's what keeps me there the most. And working on a military base, the biggest thing is when the families come to Hawaii, being able to share our culture and being able to share what Hawaii is and like the things that Hawaii can offer. I think that's been one of my biggest things. But for me, number one is relationships. The people that I work with make work fun, right? And if I enjoy the people I work with, then it makes going to work enjoyable. And like you mentioned, the kids, it's the families, right? We have some students that like you just see them and just it brings you joy, and they're like, "Hey, Miss Hillary," just so excited, and just as excited to see them. So I think for me, it's that relationships and our families, our students, and it's relationships with everybody, our administration, with our faculty, with our staff, with our families, with our students, and even with our community. So that's what I feel is most important to me, to make a drive from Kapolei out to Kaneohe every day, right? You have to have some kind of dedication and the passion to be there, and that's why I continue to work at Mokapu. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for coming on and sharing your experiences, and mahalo for everything you're doing for our public school students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Join the conversation, everyone. In the comments, let us know if you are a staff member in the DOE. What job do you do? How does the work you do contribute to the learning and well-being of our students? Do you have thoughts on how to recruit and retain more school staff? And for more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.